Hi, I'm Amy Fulcher from As the Bunny Hops, and I wanted to ask Bailee, I saw that you were actually a producer on the film. I wanted to know what it was like to produce a film.
I do like talking about this because it's a big part of my heart, and I'm so grateful that I was 19 at the time, and so the boys let me sit down and have a seat at the table. So that meant the world to me. But I had produced in the past, but had read the script and fell in love with the story and with Avery. And so when I went on to attach myself as just her, it was one of those things where, every part of my brain was not shutting off when it came to behind the scenes stuff. And just had so much in my heart that I cared so much and wanted to be as hands-on as possible. So it was the greatest joy. It was, calls once we would finish dance choreography and 16-hour rehearsal days, so then getting on calls with the team and talking to them, and just was so humbled to be guided by such wonderful humans. And I think for me, I've yet to be able up until now to be truly a part of like the post-production process. And when we found our home with Netflix, thankfully they embraced me as well with open arms. And so it's been everything from, trailer cuts to getting to be on those Zoom calls where we're pulling images or working on the poster graphics or what the kind of marketing details will be like. And so there's so much that people don't get to see when you're part of that. And so it feels like a really sacred and special thing that I get to have for myself to have been a part of it, and not ask for anything in return. It's just kind of get to sit behind the screen for a second and pour your heart into the project as an entirety. So very, very grateful and had the time of my life.
Hi, Ashley Saunders with ashleyandco.com. The question's for both of you. There's such great energy in the film, and it definitely translated to the audience. I was wondering, what were some of your favorite moments on set, or ones that didn't quite make it into the film?
Some of my favorite moments were just working through the scenes and the musical numbers. I mean, when you make a musical, you're doing both. So I really enjoyed working through the scenes with our writers and our director, Roman White, and finding certain moments for the character, certain moments for the storyline, the arc. And then there were the fun moments, the less serious moments, and mostly those were musical numbers, and they were just so much fun. So the entire project was a blast.
I agree. I mean, we had the time of our lives. I've always wanted to get to do a musical in some capacity. And so the fact that this got to be my first one, I couldn't feel more at home or more excited about that. But I mean, we were always laughing and we were always rolling around. There was always something going on. And I think the cool part is, it's a film about friendship and about love. And I know you probably hear it all the time where it's like, no, like genuinely, like we had the best time. We still keep in touch, but like we do. I mean, Kat's like I have a small group of friends, and she's like one of my greatest gal pals, and I love her. And there was such a community always with our crew, and we had the best time. We really, really did.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kamy Allen from the Mama Diaries. And Bailee, oh my goodness, I recognized you immediately as young Snow White from Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, thank you.
That was amazing.
I love that show.
I'm rewatching it with my oldest son right now, and I'm so happy that he's into it. And it's like watching it again because I forgot a lot of stuff.
You know what's funny is I wanted to start that when quarantine happened, just because I was the biggest fan, and I didn't because I was like, oh, but you're in it. Like, is that weird? You know what I mean? Like, even though you only did like 4 episodes, but biggest fan of that show. Is the best. So how do your son?
So my question is for you, and I read in the production notes that you have been acting since you were a little girl, so you didn't ever get to attend a summer camp. So what was your favorite summer camp experience from a week away?
I love that question. Well, we had golf carts on set that would take us to the different locations. So like sneaking onto the golf carts and driving around and having like our IDs chase us, because like what a liability to have us on a golf cart. That was fun, but I don't think that came with the camp. For me, it was really fun because we actually got to meet, the counselors who run the camp and their families. And that was really cool to get to sit and listen to them and what their summers are like when they're running this camp. And it's a huge part of Nashville, and I adore Nashville now. So there were so many just kind of like soaking in moments where I was like, this is what it must be like. That was really fun. But I'd never seen a blob before. I didn't even know that existed. I was like, what is that huge floaty in the pool? Like, they're like, one, it's not a pool. I was like, right, no, I know, but like, I've never even seen this. Like, so it was all a first for me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you.
There were deer too. Sorry, that is the very campy thing. There were deer that would just roam free, and I have so many photos in my camera roll of just deer. Same people, same ones too, probably. But what personalities those guys?
Hi, my name is Christy. I'm with the Cactus Chronicles. Thank you both for interviewing with us today. This is a different type of musical in that it's faith-based. So it's very different from what a lot of us have seen before. So this question is for both of you. How did faith shape the way that you approached your roles?
It played a big part for me. I think, I had struggled with the idea of faith for a long time leading up to this movie. And really the movie was a coincidence, but in retrospect, not really, but a catalyst and a turning point for me to be reintroduced to my faith. And it's something I've been talking to a lot of outlets about, which is a week away for me was as much part of my faith journey as it could be for someone else. But I think at the end of the day, I think the faith aspect is imperative to the film. And I hope that young kids get an opportunity to explore their own faith as well.
Me too. I grew up in a very faith-filled household, which I was always really grateful to have. So anytime I get to be a part of a project that gets to share that light or that message, and especially just be a project for the family as a whole, is always really exciting to me. I would say personally, it was of importance to kind of dive into the personal conversations about the need for perfection or about the need to be a certain way. And I feel like growing up as a young girl, especially trying to navigate this business and being one that's vocal about her faith, there isn't a moment in which you don't feel like all eyes are on you for a second. It's like you can't mess up and you have to be this. And it's that moment of, I'm sorry, but I grew up believing and in having mistakes and in trying your best and in being human and being yourself. And that is what makes you you. And so I think getting to have a film that sheds light on the brokenness being what makes you beautiful and the uniqueness and what's making it you, and that the need to not be perfect is what in fact makes you, the best form of yourself. I feel like it's very rare that the light of faith films shine on those qualities as well. So I felt really excited to get to tackle that.
Hi, I'm Lynette with Fantastic Life. Bailee, quick side note, I just want to say that your accent, British accent, and Just Go With It has inspired my daughter walking around the house doing it at various times. So thank you.
Well, a big hello to your daughter. There it is. It's still just as bad all these years later.
And she enjoys doing it. So sorry, I'll focus again. I had to share that. So this question for both of you. I know that Jabril sort of shared that he didn't really, the blob, that it wasn't really him jumping off of it. That's supposed to be top secret, but I'm sure it's safe with you guys. So are there any other fun facts that you guys can share about your filming experience?
Kevin he got really sick at one point, and so we had to have a stunt double just to film like his back for certain things. So just as much as Jabril isn't jumping off of the blob, there's like a little fun fact if you see a shoulder. But Kevin, he comes in there, like once you see him, he killed it for all of those shots. But we did have to fake that for a little movie magic at some point.
Yeah, I caught a nasty case of bronchitis. Whenever I'm on a film set, I get sick. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just working so hard, but
yep, that's it.
Yeah, I just came down with a nasty case of bronchitis. And so Bailee's right. If you do see scenes where it doesn't look like me, it's probably because
maybe the shoulder's a little different. It's not emoting as much emotion as usual,
98% of the film is me. There's a couple scenes in there that you'll see. So I guess that's a fun fact.
Hi, I'm Megan from Jamonkey, and I'm dying to know, because you guys kind of had a whirlwind schedule of rehearsals and filming really, really fast. So I'd love to know more about the choreography and what it was like dancing in the lake.
It was a lot of fun. And the choreography was not easy, but luckily our choreographer, Melina Runis, was aware of that. So she actually brought in a skeleton crew, and how that works is there's 5 cast members in this film. So there are 5 skeleton crew dance members who serve as the middleman between the choreographer and the actors. So they would teach us our choreography, and dumb it down for us, and we could then learn it and take it more easily. But it wasn't the easiest thing, you know. Any movie with choreography, it requires a lot of rehearsal. We had probably rehearsed for 3-4 weeks prior to even beginning principal photography. So it was a long and hard process, but I was very proud of the work that everyone did.
And then to touch upon the doc scene, that was actually filmed on our first day of filming, which is crazy. And I would say in terms of musical numbers, that was probably the most, like the least rehearsal amount of time that we had for that dance number for some reason. But we filmed the whole scene in the garden, the whole scene when they're walking to the garden, the start of the music, up until the doc, all in one day on the first day, which was really crazy. And we were, you know, cheating the sunset for sunrise. So we had maybe about 30 minutes of time to be able to film the doc scene. So the adrenaline was high, and I was hoping that my toes would be pointed the way that Melina hoped, and Kevin lifted me really strongly, and we did. We had a great time, but it did feel like one of those things at the end of filming that scene where it was like, all right, like, let's go. We're doing this thing, you know, we're making a musical, and there's a whole lot of love here on this set. So it's going to be a journey, but we've got this.
I'm Melissa from A Sparkle of Genius, and I was wondering if there's anything cut from the movie that made you sad.
I remember that there was one scene that we shot and was cut from the film. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be disclosing this. I'm not sure.
What was it?
It was a scene where Will and George go into Sean's cabin to put on his tooth. He has a numb mouth, and it's like a prank that they pull.
Yeah, you're right. That was in there. Yeah, that's out.
It was out because I believe we ultimately made the choice that it wasn't a nice thing.
Too mean. Yeah.
So, and we agreed, but that shot and that scene exists somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They did two all again. Yeah, I love that.
So Bailee, I know one of your favorite songs was Good Enough, and we know why. But Kevin, I don't know what your favorite number from the soundtrack was, or one of the songs that you guys performed, and why.
The musician in me and the melodies and harmonies that I love, I want to say the worship medley and God Only Knows, the God medley. It's really pretty. And I love those kind of choral arrangements. I got an opportunity to mess around with classes like that in high school, a lot of music theory. But for my own personal, what I like the most, I really like the Best Thing Ever song. It's just so catchy. And I remember it out on the Winter Jam tour, and it was just stuck in everybody's heads for months. You just can't get it out of your head. So it's a sign of a good song.